Hello and welcome to my placement presentation. So I worked at Halo Post-Production, which is a post-production company that's been going on for like 18 or so years. They span across like 4 different buildings in Soho and produce film for a number of recurring clients like BBC, ITV, as well as like several one-off ventures. The 4 buildings cover similar bases to each other. However, the main building being Knoll Street, it's the main building because it has like Media IO, which is sort of for all the kit rooms, as well as sort of the most amount of rooms, the nicest rooms, and the nicest architecture. The departmental structure of the business itself is there's at the very bottom end, runners, Media IO, edit support, engineers, for stuff that goes wrong, online editors, offline editors, as well as grade, as well as a receptionist for Knoll Street and an HR team, including the MD at Dean Street. There's also a building 30 seconds away from Knoll for production with another MD and, production people who work there. As within Soho, Halo's quite a reputable company. And in the month that I was there, they notably won an award that I got to sort of go to a work social for, which was really fun. 2 of the grade assists, Jamie and Summit, also gave me a bit of context regarding some of the other companies in Soho, like Envy and the Farmhouse, as well as 50/50. But one key difference is, unlike Halo, Envy has 6 buildings where all the runners get funneled through a sort of linear pipeline of promotions to different departments, which is a lot different to Halo, where they have based on what you want to do, you can shadow different areas. But the business is funded by clients that use the company's facilities to produce media. Halo offers different tiered packages that cater to what services people want, involving different studios, lunches to be brought by runners, tea and biscuits, sort of stuff like that. And Studio 1 is by far the nicest one. You can see it down in the corner here. There's some pictures on it that I took myself. These are referenced in a few slides' time. But yeah, all the editors are permanent. However, when it comes to the runners team, there's quite a few people who are freelance, which basically means they choose whether they're timetabled or not. Doesn't mean they get to pick their specific hours. When employing entry-level workers, a lot of it is done through selecting people who perform well on work experience. Those on work experience will always sort of work alongside the runners team for the time that they're there, usually making and delivering coffees in the morning, and then hopefully getting shadowing during the afternoons. And having spoken to, I was there for a month, and there's a lot of in and out 1 week people doing work experience, and the ones who did quite well, they literally just got asked to come back by Lewis, and those who didn't just seemed to, get politely sent on their way, which is, I guess, a nice way of doing it. But they'll take people from literally any level of film education or interest. For instance, one of the permanent runners called Palumi, or Lumi for short, did a career switch literally from software engineering to post, having been hired literally just after doing work experience. I also asked a number of people how they got employed. That was just one thing. I asked a bunch of questions, but the sort of general questions or answers I got back was, I could do courses from Avid certification to Premiere and other Avid courses. There's lots you could do. Joe from Edit Sport, he said he was an exception in jumping to be a runner due to the fact that he was Avid certified, and that was something he'd done in his free time at uni, so he could go straight through. So I guess that's something I can do. And I also just got told not to stress and to keep working. I went out for drinks with the team on their last day because it was someone else's last day, and Connor reassured me about a small insecurity I had regarding how much portfolio work I'd done, just saying not to worry, and it's social media and stuff kind of blows out of proportion. Anyway. In regards to what motivates their company, Herrett, one of the senior mixers, he's been working there literally since the genesis of the company, said that he doesn't think there's really any physical plans for building work or expansion, but one of their big motivators is winning awards, because it's a way to put their name out and keep clients coming back. Anyway, moving on to section 2. While on the runners team, my time consisted of catering for clients primarily in the way of teas and coffees, which was organised via WhatsApp group / phone system. You can see the kitchen up here, and it led to me running around Soho a lot between the different offices and food stalls, which was really fun. And in spending so much time with the runners, you end up becoming pretty good mates with them, and I ended up adding a few of them on Instagram and LinkedIn, which was really nice. And then when it came to shadowing, this is the NS tower. You can see there's 2 different towers. It's kind of complicated, but it's cool. And this is where we did the little work social at Dean Street, which is like 5-minute walk. They're all the buildings are like less than 5-minute walks from each other. Anyway, so when it came to shadowing, while like initially keen to shadow offline editing, since I edit for fun already, I decided that considering the fact I was going to be there for a month, I should, pick the brains of as many people and departments as I could. So edit support do a lot of the legwork in Avid, doing footage ingests, doing tasks like slip syncing and stuff like that. The day I sat with the audio mixers, they were removing narration from a documentary about penguins, and Tusha, the sort of senior dude, explained that while it's not like a particularly complicated task, editing like 2 hours of footage becomes like super monotonous, and for that reason requires like a keen eye and sustained attention to avoid mistakes. And on my last day, I sat down with a grader called Duncan, who sort of taught me about color spaces and like the scientific reasons pretty much why we grade, and even let me like play around with some of the color DARs. I don't actually have many pictures of that, but his set with her like in one of the studios. That was really fun. I sat in with Media.io as well. Like I had to run one of their drives around